For more than 1,000 years, Constantinople stood between Europe and Asia. Emperors had ruled from its palaces, merchants filled its streets, and massive walls protected the city from countless enemies. Armies had tried to break them before and failed. But in 1453, a young sultan looked toward those ancient walls and promised to do what others could not. His name was Mehmed II. He was only 21 years old, but his ambition terrified his enemies. Mehmed did not want another raid or temporary victory. He wanted Constantinople itself. Advisors warned him that the city's walls had survived for centuries. Mehmed listened in silence. Then he began preparing an army, a fleet, and a weapon powerful enough to shake stone. Mehmed's greatest weapon was a massive bombard built to attack the ancient walls. The cannon was so large that transporting it required teams of oxen and hundreds of men. When it finally fired, the explosion thundered across the land. Stone trembled. Soldiers covered their ears. Constantinople had faced armies before, but never firepower like this. On April 6, 1453, the siege began. Ottoman cannons opened fire, pounding the walls again and again. Inside the city, Emperor Constantine XI gathered every defender he could find. Greeks, Genoese, and others stood together on the walls. They were badly outnumbered, but surrender meant the end of their empire. Every night they repaired what the cannons destroyed. A heavy chain blocked Ottoman ships from entering the Golden Horn. Mehmed needed another way in. Then he ordered something almost impossible. Ottoman ships were dragged overland on greased wooden tracks and lowered into the water behind the defenses. At sunrise, the people of Constantinople looked toward the harbor and saw enemy ships where no enemy fleet was supposed to be. For weeks, the city shook beneath Ottoman fire. Food grew scarce, defenders collapsed from exhaustion, and the ancient walls were slowly breaking. Yet Constantinople refused to surrender. Churches filled with desperate prayers while soldiers waited on the walls. After 53 days of siege, Mehmed knew the time had come. He ordered his army to prepare for one final assault. Before sunrise on May 29, 1453, Ottoman drums thundered through the darkness. Thousands of soldiers rushed toward the walls in wave after wave. Cannons roared, arrows filled the sky, and defenders fought from every broken tower. The battle became chaos. For hours, Constantinople held. But the defenders were exhausted, and Mehmed still had his strongest soldiers waiting. Then Mehmed sent in the Janissaries, his elite troops. They advanced toward the weakened defenses with discipline and relentless force. During the fighting, the Genoese commander Giovanni Giustiniani was badly wounded and carried away. His departure crushed morale. Ottoman soldiers pushed through the defenses. After more than 1,000 years, Constantinople's legendary walls had finally failed. Emperor Constantine XI understood what had happened. His city was lost. According to later tradition, he removed his imperial symbols and joined the final fighting near the walls. He disappeared in the chaos, and his body was never identified with certainty. The last Byzantine emperor died as his empire collapsed around him. By morning, Constantinople belonged to Mehmed. On May 29, 1453, the Byzantine Empire came to an end. Mehmed II entered Constantinople as a conqueror and made the city his imperial capital. The fall shocked Christian Europe and transformed Ottoman power. The city that had survived for more than 1,000 years had finally fallen. One empire disappeared, but from its ruins another rose to dominate history.